He's going live. You're alive.
G'day.
Hey, everyone. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're in Vancouver, actually, at the moment. Currently in the middle of a tour. And we just hope you liked our documentary. A good friend of ours made it. And yeah, we're just happy to share that piece with everyone. On that note, we've also got some questions that we're going to answer,
which all of you guys submitted over the last few days, so get back to you instantaneously.
Okay. So this first question is from Alicia at, what do you reckon, Tim? That's a hard one.
It's like Rami Washington.
Rami Washington. And it says, how does it feel being back on the stage again after not performing for years? And at least personally, I can say it feels pretty amazing, really. I think it's a little bit like riding a bike, kind of comes back to you, but maybe there's a new sense of appreciation, after the last 3 or 4 years, and everything being up in the air. I think being together and up on stage playing music is pretty awesome, really. We're pretty lucky at what we get to do. So. Great. Just that. Okay.
Someone else want to go with a question?
Yeah.
What age... I'll read it to you, Tim. How about that? As if I'm asking you.
Credit who it was.
This is Sandra, Sandy Plum.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
So you get the beach.
What age did you start playing guitar / songwriting? Was it a natural progression, or did you take lessons? What kept you motivated to continue during the low moments?
It's just going to be different for all of us.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah. I started playing guitar when I was 14. I was listening to a lot of Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Alice in Chains. And I had an undercut, and I got an earring.
Which side?
Left ear, yeah. Yeah. And I started playing songs, and I started writing songs a few years later, and they were horrific. And I got into folk music sort of not long after that, maybe when I was like 21. And I went to uni with these two, and we were all playing in bands sort of together. And I guess I went traveling in 2008, and after I came home, we started writing music together. I heard one of Dave's solo songs, and it was incredible. So we started writing music together, and yeah, that was my journey.
And what kept you motivated to continue during low moments?
I think a low moment is when you listen back to a song you've written, and like at the time you're like, oh, I'm the next Bob Dylan. And you wake up the next day and you're like, that's horrific. It's cheesy. It sounds like the worst version of what people have written before. But I don't know. I think just the want to be better and to be creative, and like my heroes like Peter Gabriel or a Simon Garfunkel sort of thing. You go, I want to write songs that are great and that mean something to people. So I guess that was a real motivation to me, and it's kind of the way I journal, like is through songs. So that's how because I've never written a journal or a diary or anything. So I guess I just put it all out there. That's motivation in itself. What about you guys?
That's a really good question. I started at 12. I won't digress too. We might be here for a while. We go around.
Before Manzone?
I was 8. I was 12 when I started playing guitar.
Yeah,
I started playing piano when I was like 6.
Yeah.
I was 8.
How old were you, John? You wouldn't have guessed it.
I don't know. Maybe if you were 14, maybe 12. Well, I guess not.
Should we move on to another?
Yeah. Is that cool?
Just ask it of someone.
Yeah. John, what about this one? If Boyberg could tour with any band or artist, past or present, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I don't know. I thought about this for a while. I mean, I think it would be pretty amazing to tour with Simon and Garfunkel, like back in their heyday.
Yeah.
Like when they were still, they maybe liked each other or whatever. But
Garfunkel's not very nice, though.
yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't want to get political about it, but I don't know. I don't know.
What about Tom Petty and Heartbreakers?
Oh, I mean, that'd be...
That's it. It would have been amazing.
That'd be amazing.
Sensational.
Amazing. Another question. This is at Julia Goldman.
Thank you.
You guys are the absolute best. Did you guys plan to be full-time musicians? If not before that, what did you guys do career-wise? Used to go on for 70.
Yes.
What did you do before?
Well, so what did I do career-wise? Well,
Sounds like a job.
I did have a job once for 2 days as a dishwasher at Johnny something or other seafood back in Sydney. And on the second night, I got very hungry and I got caught in the fridge eating a peach and a slice of cake. And I got the sack. And ever since then, I've never done anything else other than music, so I feel very fortunate. But a few of you boys had a couple other jobs, I guess.
I was a barista for quite a few years. I really love my coffee, and I was working in a cafe, or multiple cafes, and then I do still miss making coffee. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. While I was at uni, I was making coffee or working in a book warehouse, and I do not miss picking books. That was a very boring job. The coffee's good.
We worked in a golf course, not the same one, different ones, doing different things.
You were a greenskeeper, weren't you?
No, I worked in the pro shop. I gave
that.
bad advice to lovely ladies.
Here's another one.
Do you guys plan on coming to Brazil? Yes,
we
we
would
would
love to
absolutely love
It'd be amazing.
to do that.
And by the way, we know that the Spotify thing's been a bit of an issue
Yeah.
in South America with you hearing our music, but we're getting it sorted within the next 48 hours.
It should be sorted really soon. Another one from AFL Everything. Great name. What's the favorite song you guys have made? Favorite song we've made?
It's probably going to be different.
It's going to be different
for
for
everyone.
us.
Yeah, probably lots of different, many songs, but
Why don't I take the favorite song off the new record to make it easier?
Yeah, I like that.
Because that's not the question.
Well, sorry, AFL, I've hijacked your question.
Just
Made it my own.
We're not kidding, but
Okay, let's not do it. I'm just going to throw it out there because I still really love Real Estate. That song is on Harlequin Dream, and it's still, every time I listen to it, it's probably one of my favorites that we did.
Southern Tongue for me. I don't know. It's the most obvious answer. It's still my favorite.
I really like a song off the new record called Bad People, which is track 2 on side B of the vinyl.
I like that too.
Bad People, I like that.
What about you, Hoss?
I've always had a soft spot for Old Town Blues.
Oh, yeah.
Something about the bass and the electric combo.
You read
Makes
that?
me feel good.
You read that in Prague, didn't you?
You did.
That's
Surprisingly,
it
makes you
was
feel
dark,
good.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you weren't feeling good that day, but you made something that made you feel good.
Yeah.
Right on.
Exactly.
I like that. It's poetic.
Here's another question. Oh, you got one there?
Oh, just one while we're here, because it's tying in with your favourite book. I just want to ask Tim.
Oh.
Is Foolish Oats would love to know your favourite book.
I guess it's a book by Joseph Conrad called Lord Jim. And it's about this guy that is a second mate on the ship, but he abandons the ship and he's supposed to go down with the ship and the ship's sinking. And he feels shame, so he ends up in I think somewhere in Borneo or Sumatra, and he becomes the head of a tribe. It's sort of a bit of Heart of Darkness, if you know Joseph Conrad, but he's essentially trying to redeem himself, and he can't run away from his past, essentially. It was written sort of in the early 1900s, and it's sensational. Lord Jim by Joseph Conrad, if you get a chance, read it. It's amazing. Anyone that likes that sort of melancholic world, you'll love it.
Oh, yeah, great. We've got one here from @LittleHippies. And @LittleHippies? No, shit. No. Oh, sorry. @LittleHappies, sorry. Excuse me. Pirate ship. @LittleHappies says, any pre-show rituals, and what's your favourite song to play live? What sort of goes on from that? We do have some pre-show rituals. I mean, we tend to sit pretty much where we are now. This is actually the band room at the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver. And we usually get a couple of guitars and sing maybe 2 or 3 really stupid made-up songs that Tim will maybe start. Dave will continue, and we all muck around and play some percussion. And then we sort of sing a few songs, and the adrenaline starts to kick in. But we tend to like to get together for about an hour before the show and play some songs, really. Have a sing and a play.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that very much sums it up.
Do you want to do another question there, Johnny?
Why not? Okay, this is from @Victor. What's the best thing you've ever found at the thrift shop?
Ah.
Tim, you found a pair of RMs for me.
Yeah.
years ago. That was pretty good.
RMs are big boots for those that don't know.
And for Australians, thrift store is like a Salvation Army store.
Nutribad Binnies,
How much were they?
$45 they were.
What are the retail price of them?
Retail at the time was probably $4.50. But they're a bit more expensive now.
I thought it was very generous of you because I wasn't expecting a gift. It wasn't my birthday or.
It was during the recording of Harlequin Dream, and I walked down the road and found them, and I was like, Oscar likes Iron shoes. They fit both of us, but
Yeah, I've worn them for best part of 5 years. Yeah.
the Gardner. Sensational.
The Waynes. My goodness.
Oh, hey, I've got another one I want to read. So it's at A Thompson 023. I'm curious about the encores. When I saw you all in 2016 and 2018, you explained that you didn't play them, but then we did one a couple of weeks ago in NYC. What changed? Evolved, if you will.
Good question.
We were in rehearsals actually for the Australian tour, and we were kind of working out what to do at the end of the set. And I think the conversation just came up that maybe we should consider doing encores. I think at the start we always felt like we didn't have enough material, and it felt odd to us. And I don't know what clicked this time around, but we just thought maybe this would be a nice time to give it a go and embrace that side of showmanship. And yeah, it was kind of the first one. Weirdly, it was a bit scary because we, it just feels a bit strange to us. But we've really started to embrace it. So yeah, we're loving it.
I think it's also about like starting to feel comfortable with what that is. Like it was something we always felt foreign with, and it's a little bit of accepting that, you know, with time and more music, you feel like you don't want to take away from what an encore is. And I think with time and more songs and more music, it becomes more of a purposeful tool. Yeah, it feels like you're not quite worthy of doing one when you've written one record or two records or something at that point. At least for us, that's just how it felt. Whereas I feel like we've sort of crossed over into going, you know, now it's actually a really cool part of the show potentially.
Because it's about interaction with people, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. We're so appreciative to you guys that you come along to our shows and watch us and listen to our music. And so I think we've probably made it a bit more about ourselves early on in our career and our own insecurities. But it's like if you want to hear another song, that's kind of a cool thing. But, you know, we still keep some of our best songs for last, which is a bit naughty, I suppose.
Nicole Fox. Hi, absolutely love you guys. What's your favorite part of being musicians? Is it creating new music or playing on tour or something else? I know that's pretty sometimes divided down the middle in this band. There's a few of us that absolutely love being in the studio and recording records, and a few of us that love touring. But it's been a while since we had that discussion again, so that could have changed. For me, it's always in the studio. Dave's always in the studio.
I'm half and half because I like the variety.
Yeah.
I couldn't just be a studio musician. I love playing live and interacting with all you guys. So, but I love making records too. So I think half and half.
Yeah, it's a balance thing for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. So
That's true.
when you got the balance right, you be in the studio, create a new record, you get to play it live. It's exciting, but then you do get hungry to make more.
Do it live!
Come back. So,
Any preference over here?
I like waiting in hotel lobbies and airports. Rental parties.
It sounds quite jaded.
I don't know, I'm down the middle.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing one, you appreciate the other sort of thing. Like in the studio, when it gets a bit slow sometimes and it feels like you're honed in on a tiny detail, sometimes you enjoy the simplicity of just good energy live. But yeah, I like both.
Wow, there's so many questions, everyone. Thank you so much. It's hard to keep up with them.
What about some on the paper?
Let's do someone on the paper while I...
Okay, I've got some paper here. So at Caleb Williams 989, I know it's a cliche, but if you could have dinner with any three famous people, living or not living, who would they be?
Dinner.
Dinner.
I always answer John Lennon, at least from my side, for one of those people.
That would be cool.
That would
I'd
be...
sit at the dinner table with John.
I would sit at the table and I wouldn't know what to expect because I think he was quite a volatile character, and that in itself could be enough entertainment for the night.
That's one.
So we've got two more.
So it's
Was
not
it
a musician
true?
dead or
No,
anything.
it doesn't have anybody.
I think, what about Jesus?
I'd do that.
So you
I'll
can
be up
have
for
some
that.
pretty interesting conversations.
Yes, please.
You could just.
Would it be the last supper or?
No, it would be the supper after the last supper.
You could ask him some quite profound questions.
I'm up for that.
So I was going to say JFK because I reckon he'd be fascinating, but then I thought, what about Jackie O? Because I reckon.
Jackie Onassis, not
Yeah.
Jackie O from Today FM.
No, Jackie O. So it's like maybe like we always think about the man. What about the woman behind the scenes?
Yeah.
She's seen all the stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon she was pretty happening.
Did you watch the movie they made of her?
I did.
Did you like it?
I think I did.
Can we have 5?
Yeah, I think I enjoy my dinners to be fun. What about I'd like a dinner with Tina Fey or something?
That would be amazing.
Well, let's just get
That would be
make it a
so
good night.
great.
Tina Fey, Lennon, Jesus.
I want explanation
Jackie.
from Hawk.
Bob Hawke.
Oh,
Big
Bob
Australian.
What about Frank Sinatra?
I'd be into
James Brown.
James Brown.
It's starting to
It's
get
getting
quite
away
loose.
from
It's
it.
getting quite a loose dinner party. That's fine. Napoleon.
I think it would be a loose dinner party though. If you put all those people around the table,
Churchill.
the water would be converted to wine,
Great
and then
champagne
it would just be flowing.
Yeah.
All right. What was the show in Hamilton? I never saw it on the official tour dates. Oh, Megan S. I am so sorry. I have no idea. It should have been up there.
there.
Heads will roll. That's all
Yeah.
I know.
We'll
Take
sort
care
it
of
out.
that.
We always do.
Great show. Hamilton. Nice place. Long walk.
First time there, we've never been there before.
Great after show slice, I think, as well.
Pizza.
Slice of pizza.
Do you have any? Oh, sorry.
No.
Rachel Barone says, do you have any completed songs for this album or others that you have not released? We do. We actually have songs from every record we've made. Probably about 2 songs I reckon we've recorded and finished.
It's about 8 or 9 songs.
Yeah, exactly. So there'd be about 8 or 9 songs that I've still got, at least at my end, buried in my iTunes somewhere. And every now and then when we've had a little bit too much to drink, we go down memory lane and maybe we might put one of those on for ourselves to laugh at. But I don't think they'll ever see the light of day, unfortunately. I don't
You
know.
never know, though.
You never know.
Never say never, kill you.
It's
I will never say
songs.
never.
They're in the library bank.
They're in the library bank, yeah. Often, actually, going into this record, we had written like way more songs than usual. And I reckon there's quite a few beds and demos that we made going into this record that we'll definitely look at using again in the future. And whether they last and make it to the next record, who knows? But there's always stuff floating around on the side.
I've got one here from Phoebe Chapman saying, loving the new album. Thank you, Phoebe.
Hello.
And she's wondering what BCS stands for, which is track number, the second last track on
11.
side 2 of side B. Track 11.
BCS stands for Bone Crushing Silence.
Light. It's light.
Yeah, we didn't. That felt like quite a dramatic title on the back of the record. So yeah, we ran with the what's the word I'm after when you do the
Acronym.
acronym? Yeah, we ran with the acronym instead. Yeah, and that line, that's the first line of the outro is that line. So.
Or
Yeah.
boating, camping, surfing.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Voice can sing.
Yeah.
Great.
You got another one there?
Foolish Oats coming in for the second question. I like it. What are your karaoke picks? Ooh.
Elton John, Tiny Dancer, classic. Don't bite off too much because if you try to go too high, you don't get it. People love living on a prayer. No one ever gets the high note.
My dancer's pretty high.
Yeah, but I can see.
It's like, yeah, you're not that far short of living on a prayer.
But it's all about that high note. And if it's right at the top of your range and you can get it, remember that note in Bath?
I remember the night in Bath. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think that's my pick. What about you guys?
But do you actually sing Tiny Dancer or do you sing Tony Dancer?
Tony Dancer, 100%.
Tony Dancer.
I've got one here from Marilena 1026. And they've asked, does the album artwork carry a message? Hashtag stuck on light. We should at least say, I'll just say who did the artwork. It was an Australian artist that's based in Berlin called Leif Podaski. And this is the artwork once again. He's an incredible artist that we found online, really, I guess, through, internet sort of sources. And Dave, do you want to have a chat?
Yeah, well, I think he does these really amazing psychedelic works, and I think we knew initially we wanted colour, and I think it was sort of instinctual, and we were drawn ultimately to that image because I think it felt like you were underwater, and that kind of those splashes of color coming through seemed to really work with the title and work essentially with what the record was about, which was sort of being, trying to find your way up to the surface.
18 Moneypenny. I'm sorry we skipped you. Let me find what you said. You know, will you do meet and greets in the future? I saw you in Philly. It would have been awesome. We do them, and we often do them spontaneously. Where maybe after a show, everyone's in a good mood. We often pop out and we might say hi to a few.
We came out after the
stragglers.
show, actually.
Actually, in Philly, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went out to just outside the main door to the right hand side of there.
Yeah.
We must have gone home.
So maybe we came out a little slow. We missed you. I'm sorry, but we actually did come out that night.
Yeah. We're a bit jet lagged. That's probably why.
Yeah, we were a little
Sorry.
slow.
Next time I know for sure.
There's another one here from Natalie Woods. Is there a poop roadie on tour? And that's a good question, but there actually isn't. There's no Harry this particular tour because Dave's done a few other trips.
Harry's been replaced by a laser, believe it or not.
Freaking laser.
Not a Ford laser.
Laser.
Yeah. I had a doctor back home get in touch with me, introduce me to something known as photobiomodulation. And after 3 or 4 weeks of treatment, I found out that I could replace the FMTs with this laser protocol. And so I managed to buy a laser. They're like this big, and I just use that on my gut every day, and that seems to be keeping me upright, which is a far more pleasant procedure than the FMTs.
Great. So we send our love to Harry anyway.
Yeah, Harry.
We miss you, Harry.
Stu Larson can't wait for the show tonight. Stu Larson's on tour with us. Check out his music. Get back to work.
Dylan, what does suck and light mean to you? Well, maybe you want to answer this one.
It's a tricky question. I mean, all records mean a lot. I think this record is a little bit different because of the circumstances and having to come up with some pretty interesting solutions to get it there. In a weird way, I think of this personally. I've almost become a bit more fatalistic, where I'm like, try and enjoy that process and the writing and the recording as much as you can. Put as much personality and effort into it, and then, if it goes pear-shaped, it goes pear-shaped. So, I haven't really answered your question. It was just I think it means a lot in that it was just nice to be able to do it. It was nice to be able to do what we love and make music and make something that we're really proud of. And under those circumstances, I think we did a really great job.
Rachel says, Stu, you're so lucky because you're the two with us. The thing is, we're so unlucky to have to tour with him. I say that out of love. Please go back to the second question. I will try and find that, Gilberto. I'll have to scroll back, so I'll get that in a second.
Yeah.
While I scroll, is there another question?
What have we got? So we've got Foolish Oats, maybe. Wants to know, did we already do that?
We may have done a Foolish Oats question, I think.
Oh, well, we could ask what are some of our favourite meals anyway. Something kind of light, Sorry, some of our favourite meals to make. Oh. For me, I think what I think is a pretty good roast chicken dinner when we're on tour or when we're on.
Lemons in it.
Yeah, about 1,000 lemons. When we're writing and stuff, I tend to pull out the roast chicken.
Yeah.
You and your brother tend to do it like the pasta thing, the sort of rigatoni.
Yeah. Like rigatoni.
Italian sausage.
Yeah.
Sausage sauce.
Spicy Italian sausage. Of course, is a green curry guy.
Yeah.
Thai green curry.
Yeah.
You used to do a legendary Thai green
I do a good pasta, like a pulse pasta these days.
Yeah.
Anything with lots of oil and cheese and tomato.
Do you remember Garen does great roast potatoes? Incredible.
It's my heritage.
Irish, doesn't know where he was born though. Knows it was in Cork, but doesn't know where in Cork. His mum.
With this context is this came up the other night and I couldn't couldn't answer the question where specifically I was born. So I texted my mum and I got the answer.
I was asking everyone on the bus, "Do you know where you're born?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was born in Auburn." And then everyone
knew where they were born.
He's like, "I didn't know where I was born."
I lost my identity. It's an identity.
Wonderful thing.
I got one here from Nicholas Rodriguez, who says, I was listening to Percy Warner Park and I noticed there are some kind of mumbles in the background. Is there someone saying something?
There probably is. I
That's
can't
amazing.
remember.
Yeah,
You must have very good headphones.
yeah. Look, I can't remember if we did like subversively added anything to it, but I don't
We
think
did do a lot of like things on that record, like quiet stuff and interesting little. Like there's a couple of screams and things like that. I can't remember specifically if there's mumbling though.
Remember mumbling?
Not the mumbling.
Yeah, no,
I don't think mumbling is one of the creative tools we go to that often. So
There was like falsetto vocals in it, and maybe someone sort of mumbled underneath it.
yeah, I remember recording a really light guitar part on that, and maybe that's where you're mistaken for mumbling because it does mumble a bit.
I'm gonna go and listen to it. I'm gonna come back to you.
All right.
Did we find that number 2 question that we?
Yes. Why is only the latest record available on Spotify? I think it's what it said.
Where are you, man?
He's in Brazil. I have no idea, and it shouldn't be the case.
We're
And
sorting it out.
we will get onto that
Heads are
ASAP.
gonna roll again.
Again,
Heads
the
will
heads
roll.
will re-roll. You know? Love the album. Thank you, Dylan. We appreciate that.
Great.
Who would you like to collaborate with? Says Victor.
Simon's a cool one. I heard him saying it on promo yesterday.
Oh, did you? Oh, did I?
Yes.
I think this is an interesting question because it often stumps us as musos and artists because I think there's every week when you're listening to either an old record that you really loved or you're listening to something that just came out or you're on a festival tour and you're seeing certain bands, I think we have these little moments of wanting to collaborate with so many different people, you know, dead or alive, so to say. I think as a musician, like, when we get to experience other bands, performers, and songwriters' music, it is just such a rewarding sort of experience. And I think that sort of want to collaborate is because you're sort of turned on by their sound or by the way that they perform. There's endless people, yeah.
Peter Gabriel, for me.
We can roll with that. It's a pretty solid answer. Marie Anderson says.
I like that.
That's good. So, hold on. That's better. Right there. Marie Anderson, what song took the longest to write on Suck and Light and why? I think Suck and Light took the longest. That took like 2 years. We literally.
It was one of the first sort of songs we got up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Its first call.
It started, literally about 2 years prior to when we actually recorded it. And we recorded maybe 3 or 4 different demos of that song in different arrangements, different tempos.
Just keep trying to.
We just kept trying to find a way to make it work. And it literally took up until the day in the studio in Nashville where we found the current way it exists. We found that version of it there in the studio. And so I think by far that was probably the longest any song has ever taken for us. And we have songs that sometimes have come up in a day, you know. But that one was 2 years. And it almost like it went through that whole phase where it was like, will we ever get this song off the ground? Will it ever even make the cut? So it was on the edge.
You see, Chris Zumbach or Zumbach wanted to know do we have any hobbies outside music?
Ooh. There's a lot of hobbies. Someone else want to start? I've been talking a bit. John, what's yours?
Oh yeah, so I like taking photos. So I've got my little camera hiding back here as well because I sort of carry it everywhere. Because we get to travel to some cool places, I guess, and I like taking photos of these guys as well. Hopefully when they're not really looking at the camera and posing, but sometimes they see the camera and they pose, and I take a photo anyway. Though. Yeah, it's fun.
The poses, we can't help it.
I don't think I do have a hobby. I don't think I've got any hobbies.
You like cooking?
You like cooking?
Yeah.
That's just like
Red wine.
Is that a wine connoisseur?
Yeah.
Is that a hobby though, or is it just like a
I think so.
diet?
I really love soccer. And I love coffee. And I love surfing, but I'm very bad at surfing.
Yeah, I like the dog park most of the time. And also when I can, I love being in the water
Just
I
to
love
carry,
swimming
you bring a
or
dog
sailing.
to the park. It's
Yeah,
not
you're
just
not
the
just
dog
chilling
park.
No, I
You're not
just
just
linger
hanging out.
around.
Yeah, okay.
With a hoodie on and dog treats in my pocket,
Yeah.
just cruising around.
If the dogs go missing, we don't know who
That's
possibly
it.
is
in a
responsible.
white van. Yeah.
It's gone dark. I like fishing. And
Yeah,
I like
you do.
golf, and I like cricket, and I like
Oh,
rugby
yeah.
league, and I like rugby union.
He knows what he likes.
Clarify which one.
That's great.
The big man now.
Greg Gloucester reposting. What's the first thing you eat when you get home after touring around the world? A home cooked meal, because it's been months since you've just had a really nice, simple home cooked meal. It sounds really decadent to say that eating out gets tiresome, but you just crave simplicity after a while.
Portuguese chicken burger.
There you go. Just
What
some
about you?
Vegemite.
What do I get?
Smoked salmon.
Question.
The capers.
Delicious. Anything home cooked, I'm pretty stoked.
Stu Larson asks, how's your new tour manager holding up? Thank you, Stu, for your input once
Your
again.
input is perfect. Value. Yeah. Thank you for being you, lovely rounds. Hey, thank you, Marie. Appreciate that. Dave's health is going much better too, which is good.
Ooh, we just
Always on the mend.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
Go to.
We had another question. Do you guys see yourselves doing another thing in life if music wasn't part of it? I was talking to someone about this today. I was at Stu Larson. That's what I asked me that. Would you consider another career?
I mean,
I'd consider it. But
You consider it.
Of course. I don't know what I'd do. Maybe something in horticulture. Or maybe
I would greet them.
I wouldn't mind like working for like a coffee or like a beer company, but I suppose that's been
What
done,
about
hasn't it?
fishing charters?
Fishing charters. I'm not that good at catching fish. I do like it, but I'm not that good at it.
You bring some vibe.
I disappoint a lot of people on that as a people pleaser. That's hard. What did you do, Oscar?
If I didn't do music,
Yeah.
like it's in if I could do, like if I could be a professional surfer, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Play cricket.
What
But I'm
could you
going to do
realistically
that.
do?
What can I realistically do?
I'd be.
I think something. That's a really good question.
Probably own a laundromat or something.
That's exactly it.
Never get used.
I don't know. Maybe something with animals. I think that'd be fun.
I think it's a hard question because it touches in with a deep-rooted anxiety for all of us. You don't want to do anything else. I don't want to entertain it.
I'd like to run a hobby farm.
That'd be great.
That makes no money, of course. But
Did they have those little horses? Those little ones?
You want
Yeah,
to hobby
Japanese
farm?
booty.
That's just when your farm's your hobby.
it's just like, yeah, the idea of a farm, but like I'm not like out plowing the fields like every day.
So you want to have a
I
farm,
get
but
to
someone
just
else
look at it.
do the farming.
Yeah, that's it. So I need to earn money.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you could be a great visual artist.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know. I think I've lost my touch.
I'd be a writer. I'd try to be a writer. I'd be a failed writer. That's still a career. I started writing a novel recently, actually, and then
You lost your computer.
the hard drive was corrupted, and the guy that fixes our computers, he couldn't fix it. I lost my novel. It was pretty depressing, anyways, and probably
Megan Stocker, will you be doing more shows in Australia when we get back?
heaps.
Yes, we absolutely will.
All the shows.
They
Planning stuff for next year.
planning, yeah.
You should have some information about that pretty soon.
Yeah, they're not released yet, but soon, as Namji says. Foolish Oats wants to let you know that he'll look after the farms.
Oh,
It's going to be a big job. This guy will do absolutely nothing.
that's not true.
You could be a good assistant manager.
I think you'd sit there and sort of point
You missed a spot.
over there. Yeah, foolish.
Oats.
Oats. Alrighty.
Oreos.
Come to Road, we'll try. Sorry, I'm just going through here. Stu Love. Let's get out of there. Any more on the sheet? Have we missed anyone as
We're
well?
ready to go. Go on,
Yeah.
do the gig
Why
actually.
don't we do a couple more? We do a
Okay.
couple more?
Let's do it.
Great. Does my head look shiny? That's a question for you guys.
Shiny. Yes.
Yes. Put yeses in the chat, please.
Q&A. These are Q&A.
We run out of questions. I think we run out of questions. I don't know.
Victor, what are your influences? Your records have a lot of sounds, but they always feel like Boy and Bear. How do you achieve that?
We fight a lot.
I feel like with music and with a lot of arts, you can like learn and study a lot, but ultimately a large part of what you do is completely idiosyncratic and completely unique to just yourself, which is why I think there's so much music out there that sounds so differently, but there's only 12 notes in a scale. Is that right, Samsy? I'm looking at you. Case in point right there. I have no musicology. But yeah, I think everyone goes at it from their own perspective and their own angle. And I think the five of us have learned what each of our strengths and weaknesses are, and we're aware of that. So even though we're exploring new ideas, we always know, actually, something would work here, or something that we know, like Samsy can bring, like if we want some bounce in this part, or push it along, and or a roast chicken just to smooth out the afternoon, So yeah, I feel like you just do what innately makes sense to you, and I guess that comes across more and more,
Right. But you do reckon it's kind of like a 5 artists all like throwing paint at a canvas. Like you're gonna get something different from everyone because of the angle they're standing and the color of paint in their hand. It's not a great metaphor, is it?
Some of us miss it too.
Do you reckon you've got everyone's tastes and everyone brings something slightly unique? Yeah. And sometimes you're like me personally, I'm the irritating person that brings stuff that just gets deleted later. But you need to still have that stuff because you know.
Most of all of our stuff just gets deleted. Like as in like you accumulate all these ideas, and when they feel good, and then you kind of slowly over time peel them back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try and find that sweet spot between
the onion and the
onion and the paint.
Yeah.
And the angle of the canvas. All right.
Fantastic.
All
I feel
right,
like we've
guys.
probably got to wrap it up.
We have to go and play a show.
Thanks for hanging out and watching
Thank
the
you so much.
documentary and
Yeah.
all the support.
We love you guys.
Appreciate it so much. One person said they're looking forward to the show tonight, so
Oh yeah.
hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
We'll
We're
see
playing
you
for
there.
you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Made it that time.
I hit the end,
Great.
don't I?
Well done.